in my view, a way of making sure that Ohio victims of abuse, alleged abuse at the hands of the Boy Scouts, are treated equitably with similarly situated victims in other states that have a longer statute of limitations.
This is your way of saying, why should Ohio victims get the short end of the stick?
Yes, that's exactly right.
In a surprise move, Ohio House Majority Leader Bill Seitz is backing a bill that will extend the statute of limitations for civil claims filed by victims of sexual abuse at the hands of Boy Scout leaders. Ohio has 1 year from this week to get the so-called Scouts Honor Bill passed to comply with the terms of a $3 billion bankruptcy court settlement. Seitz says the amount of money awarded to a victim depends on how long the statute of limitations is within their home state. So extending the statute of limitations in Ohio can mean a difference of millions of dollars coming to Ohio's nearly 2,000 victims. Many of them have suffered in silence for decades, as I learned firsthand this week in a story you'll see only on NBC4.
We were on the porch of the ranger's little cabin, and he started just playfully wrestling around.
Eric Palmer was a 12-year-old Boy Scout in Chillicothe.
And there was a couch on the front porch that he managed to wrestle me and down on and hold me down on the couch and proceeded to molest me.
Mujadid Muhammad was a 9-year-old Cub Scout in Columbus.
My abuse would occur when we went on camp outings. He would come pick me up when we were not going on camp outings. And my mom, you know, she thought the world of him. A good mentor for me.
A mentor who was a child rapist.
But it was my stepfather who ultimately stopped it one day when he saw me come home in some skimpy bikini swim trunks, you know, and he just went off.
But neither of them ever told.
He kept it going by instilling fear in me. There were a lot of threats of what he would do if I ever said anything.
He over and over told me not to say anything to anybody, that we were just playing around and it was nothing. So I didn't say anything to anybody.
Like most of the 90,000 known Boy Scout victims, they kept the secret as the criminal and civil statutes of limitations expired. Until Eric, at the age of 40 and an attorney, saw a list of Scout leaders known to have molested children.
And the hardest part about that was the realization that the year that he was reported and caught was years after I was in Scouts. We all have debilitating demons that will be with us for the rest of our life.
Mujadid says his abuser stole his life. After being assaulted over and over, he was never the same. Went on to a life of crime, in and out of prison, until admitting to a counselor what had happened to him as a child.
Trauma not transformed, it's transferred. Hurt people, you know, and that's the state that I was stuck in. But what I coined from that phrase is trauma transformed, is healing transferred. Heal people, help people.
He now directs a program for abuse victims.
In our state, it doesn't matter what a pedophile has done or how many kids they have done it to. The statute of limitations can kick in and they can get away scot-free, as Eric's abuser was, even though he's confessed.
Chris Graham was raped by a priest as a child and is now a state house activist, working for the civil law changes that will allow Ohio Boy Scout victims to be justly compensated, no matter how long ago they were victimized.
And when these pedophiles are going around and raping kids, they're not just raping them. It's also a robbery. They're stealing these kids' voices.
Eric Palmer's abuser confessed publicly to molesting a number of Scouts, but it was long after the statute of limitations, so he faced no consequences. Mujadid Muhammad says the man who assaulted him assaulted another boy a few years later, and the father of that boy shot and killed the molester. Digital reporter Maeve Walsh has been working on this story with me and has links to the bill and more information at NBC4i.com.